So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Sangre de Cristo land grant. Okay, so the Sangre de Cristo land grant. This is a land grant that was given by the Mexican government to a man named Charles Bubian. So he was born Alexis Bubian. Carlos Bubian is what he was known in Spanish. Carlos Bubian. Charles Trottier, I think, was his original maiden name. He's a Canadian-born fur trapper. He's one of two investors who own nearly 3 million acres of land in northern New Mexico and southern Colorado in the Bubian-Miranda land grant and the Sangre de Cristo land grant. Okay, so Charles Bubian, he was like, he's a French guy. He's a French guy who was getting into the priesthood. He was trying to be a priest. He went to St. Louis. Anyways. So, Charles Bubian is able to get the Mexican government to give him a million acres. So, the Sangre de Cristo land grant is the one that we're going to focus on. There's two big ones, the Bubian-Miranda land grant and the Sangre de Cristo land grant. So, when we're talking about the history of Castillo County, there's, when it comes to the native voice, there's a lot of New Mexican, Spanish-speaking New Mexicans from Taos, who had migrated north. And it very much feels like in rural enclave of the old Spanish West. And it kind of feels like Appalachia in a way. It feels like the rural folks out in Appalachia. Now, whereas, respect everybody's culture, of course, when it comes to the culture of America, you have the original native speakers of Castillo County were the Navajo, and the Apache, and the Comanche, and the Kiowa, the Utes, the Apache, Comanche, Navajo. These are the native tongues, not Spanish, not French, not English. So humans have lived in Castillo County for 14,000 years. The Capote Utes, the Southern Utes, the 1500s and the 1600s were the decades, the centuries of the Utes. The Spanish respected the Utes. The Spanish allowed the Utes to run around doing as they pleased. So that is the, Kiowa, Navajo, Comanche, Apache, the Utes. Those are the Native Americans who were there before the Spanish, before the French, and before the English got there. And I want to say another thing about the imperialist conquerors. So, I'm not a huge English imperialist fan. I'm not a French imperialist fan. I'm not a Spanish imperialist fan. In fact, I have German in my heritage, and I feel as though my German tongue has been stolen away from me. So, how come I don't know my native tongue? How come I don't know any German? I don't know, I came from Germany, yet I don't know any German? What the hell happened? Who the hell took my native tongue? So when I think about all the imperialists in the Americas, you have the Dutch imperialists, you have Spanish imperialists, you have the French, the English, you had a whole bunch of people, actually, the Netherlands and Amsterdam. So what the Dutch, I feel like, comes from the Hanseatic League. They're kind of the Germans, the English. They were, the 13 colonies. The French, the Mexicans conquered the French, and then the Americans, or the English, conquered the French, and then the Haitians conquered the French. So really, the French is getting their asses kicked all over the place. What the French did in Haiti was fucking sick. What the English did to the natives was fucking sick. So you got, genociding, murdering, bunch of smallpox spreading sons of bitches. The French in Kentucky actually were known as trading with the Native Americans as being honest and fair. So they actually give them an honest and fair dealing. So the French in Kentucky had a better reputation than the English did. The English were just known as barbarians, those Anglo-Saxon Germanic tribes. So the Anglo-Saxons are the English, right? Which is just both Germanic tribes. The French, that's the Francs. Those are Germanic tribes. Spanish. Now, I'm not happy about any of these European conquerors, but out of all these European conquerors, the fucking Spanish were the worst. They were the sickest. They were the fucking Cortezes. They were the Pizarros. They were the De Sotos. De Soto went up into Kentucky, one of the first people into Kentucky. So the Spanish, they got to set their foot on everything. Christopher Columbus, he killed 500,000 Taino Native Americans. They all did it in the name of Catholicism, in the name of Christianity. So I just, I respect your culture. That's what that's what you say. That's what you speak. Actually, in Colorado, the official language of Colorado is English. So, I guess it's just, I resonate mostly with the Utes, the Navajos, the Apaches, the Comanches, the Kiowas, the Utes, Apache, Comanche, Navajo, not really the Spanish, French, English, Dutch, or the European conquerors. So the native tongue, if you want to preserve the culture of Castillo County, then you would preserve the Ute and the Navajo, Apache, Comanche, Kiowa cultures. This whole thing is actually supposed to be about Charles Boubian. But I'm already sick of myself, so I'm just going to close out of this.